The Kangen Water has been an amazing experience for me personally. In a period of 3 months, I was able to lose over 30 pounds, changing nothing else except my water. So truly impressed with what's happened with my Kangen Water.
I'd like to give you a little background history on my health. When I was about 15 years old, I was hit by a car. I didn't break any bones, but I got about 150 stitches in my knee, my elbow, and my shoulder, and at that point I started taking all kind of different pain medications just to be able to get up and down stairs and so forth. Then when I was in the military, I ended up with 2 ruptured discs, which of course automatically with the military they hand out medicine like candy, so I was on all kind of new pain medicine. Then in 2096, I had my first heart attack. In 2002, I had my second heart attack. Of course, going to the military hospitals, they decided that I needed a lot more medicine, so they gave me a lot more medicine. In 2004, I had a stroke, which put me down for about 6 months. And again, they said that I should take some more medicine, which I did. As a matter of fact, I was carrying around at work a duffel bag full of medicine. And because of the medications, I became so lethargic, I was not doing anything, wasn't exercising, put on a bunch of weight. Also, I developed diabetes and a thing called plantar fasciitis, which for you that don't know, that's basically where your arches are collapsing and severe pain in your feet. So other than that, I was doing great. So I was kind of like a train wreck. My brother called me up and said, listen, I think I found something that might be of help, because what the doctors were going to do, because with the 8 medications I was on for my heart, my stroke, it was not working. My blood pressure was like 180 over 120. My sugar with medication was like 300. Cholesterol was off the chart. So they were talking about giving me some kind of injections to kind of get everything under control. So he called me up and said, I think I found something. So after investigating it and having another heart attack, no, I'm kidding, I didn't, but the price almost did make me have a heart attack. And I'm sure when you hear the price, you're going to think maybe that it's not worth it. But let me tell you, within the first week of drinking this water, my blood pressure dropped from 180 over 120 down to 90 over 50. Now, that is too low. So I called up my brother and he said, well, I think you're over-medicating yourself. So what I did is I took all my little pills and my little pill cutter and I cut it in half. Second week, my blood pressure and sugar and everything was down still, so I took all my half pills and cut them into little bitty quarter pills. By the third week, I thought it was pretty stupid to keep taking the pills. So I ended up deciding to quit taking the medication, and I called my brother up and he said, well, you better call your doctor. I said, right. And what is the doctor going to tell me? And he says, well, I don't know. I said, well, I do. He says, what? And I said, well, I'd probably say I'm going to cause him to miss a few car payments. So he's going to tell me to keep taking the medication, which I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about. So I told him, I said, look, I've got an appointment with my cardiologist in 6 weeks. I'm going to keep taking my medication like I'm taking it right now, meaning nothing, and I'm going to keep drinking the water, and when I go to the doctor, I'm going to see what the doctor says. So I go to the doctor. I don't tell the doctor that I'm not taking the medication. He runs a full series of tests, everything from triglycerides, cholesterol, you name it, and I go back into his office. He comes in. He's got a little metal flip chart, and he opens it up, looks at the flip chart, and then he looks at me real funny and looks back at the flip chart, and he has a strange look. And I said, well, what's wrong? He says, nothing. I said, well, that's great. He says, well, this doesn't make sense. He says, this looks like the readings of a 20-year-old. I said, wow. I said, well, every time I've been in here, you've always told me to increase my medication. I said, should I increase it, decrease it? You know, tell me what I should do. He said, oh, no, you should keep taking your medicine exactly like you're taking it. I said, are you sure? I said, because my brother's been very concerned. He said, no, I'm positive. I said, well, I'll tell my brother, because 6 weeks ago, I quit taking my medicine. That little man jumped out of his chair and stood over top of me and screamed at me and said, who told you to do that? And I said, you just did. He said, no, I did not. I said, you did. You not only told me, but you told me to tell my brother. And he said, well, that's not what I meant. And I said, well, I don't know what you mean, but I'm not taking the medication. He said, well, if you're not going to follow my advice, then I'm not going to treat you. And he stomped out of the room. That was the last that I've seen of him. And I'm still not looking for him, so thank you.
I bought a Kangen machine. It's been about 30 days ago. And I first bought it on testimonies that I heard from other people. And I had lower back problems, and I thought I'd give it a try. And I drank the 8.5 Kangen water for 5 days, and I noticed when I got out of bed, my back pain was gone, my lower back pain, and that had been a chronic issue for 15 to 20 years. And I'd be eating anywhere from 3 to 6 Advil a day or ibuprofen a day just to reduce the pain. And since about after day 5 with the Kangen water, I have had no pain. I have taken no ibuprofen since then, and I just feel great. I know if it takes away the immediate pain, I'm believing that it's doing other positive things in my body too at a cellular level, and I'm really excited about it, and it's really hard not to tell your friends about it when you have results like that.
So many prescriptions, I can't carry them all at one time. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Now what do we have here, Ray?
All right. 3 months ago, I was on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was on 12 prescriptions. And the side effects alone, and I think I was experiencing every side effect that each prescription had. And some of them had 2 or 3 or 4 side effects. I was walking around, I was like a zombie. I could barely get up in the morning, I could barely focus on what I had to do. Excuse me. And then you introduced me to the Kangen water, and I started to it, and within the first day I felt a slight change, a slight improvement. And of all the prescriptions here, how many did I say there were? 11? Let me count them again. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 prescriptions. Of that, I was able to get rid of 10 of them.
Wow.
I'm now down to 2, and of the 2, I'm waiting now to go to my doctors for another examination, another test, and depending upon that, the results of that test, I think I'm going to be able to get rid of at least 1 of these. So I'm down to 1 prescription. My appetite has improved, my sleeping has improved tremendously. Oh, by the way, there's another thing I was taking here. I don't have it here. I was taking Tylenol PM to sleep at night. I don't have to take that anymore. I sleep much better. And my wife doesn't have anywhere near the number of prescriptions that I take. She takes, I think, 2 or 3, and she's down to 1 on that. She feels better than she's ever felt before.
So it's all the water.
What else can it be? Right? It can't be mental, all right? Because I was able to get rid of all of these prescriptions. I just feel better. I get up in the morning, I feel better, I have enough energy to last me during the day, and I sleep better.
When I started drinking the Kangen water, I had been dealing with a very arthritic condition in my left ankle, along with gout. My blood pressure was very high, and I had gained a lot of weight. And I started drinking 1 ounce per pound for my body weight of the water, and within 4 months I became 100% pain-free. Within the first month, my blood pressure normalized, and after the fourth month, when I became pain-free, the weight just began to fall off. And to date, I have lost 40.5 pounds without dieting or exercising, just adding the Kangen water to my regular routine.
I play tennis 3 days a week, and when you're 56 or 57, things hurt that don't hurt when you're 26. And so a friend of mine gave me a gallon of this Kangen water and said, hey, try this. So I did, and for 14 years I've been taking 3 Tylenol every time after I play tennis. And I drink the water for a week, and all of a sudden I'm going to take Tylenol, and there's no more pain. And I just couldn't believe that. And the second thing is more important to me is that I have acid reflux, very severe, and I've had it for 27 years. And I've been drinking this water from June 29th to July 3rd, and for the first time I did not have to take omeprazole, or I guess you guys call it the purple pill. I haven't taken it as long as it was in existence. And now I haven't taken another one of those pills since July 3rd of last year. So I'm going to share this with as many people as I possibly can.
In January 2006, I had a quadruple bypass. And it turned out I had diabetes and didn't know it. I'd been taking Nexium for about 10 years at that point. Had a sleep disorder I was taking medication for. And I weighed about 275 pounds. They put me on high blood pressure medications and Lipitor and all sorts of things. When I talked to the doctor, he said I could expect to be on this stuff for the rest of my life. In April about that year, my right knee started hurting and swelling up. And after all the MRIs and everything, they told me I needed a knee replacement. That was scheduled for October 2006. I bought a 501 machine, September. And by October, pardon me for getting choked up, my diabetes was gone. My blood pressure was normal. And my knee healed itself. And I got off of all my medications. My energy levels have gone up through the roof. My constipation's gone. My hemorrhoids are gone.
And let's see, we got our machine October the 27th of 2007. And my husband wanted it. I didn't. We had to go have a little private conversation because I was determined not to have it because we couldn't afford it. So my son, who's 29 years old, and he's said he would give us a down payment. And we decided we could make the payments if he'd make the down payment. And it's been amazing since we got our machine. I have fibromyalgia, really, really bad. I have been next to bed fast. My husband was talking Mayo Clinic. We didn't know where to turn. I would slide out of bed and land on my feet and barely be able to walk. And it took 3 months for the pain to go away. But as of today, 3 months, we've had the machine 6 months, and 3 months after we had the machine, I was 95% pain-free, and today I'm 100% pain-free from my fibromyalgia. I think I still have fibromyalgia, but it's under control. And I told my sister the other day she has it really bad, and I told her that she has to be real careful because there's 4 side effects that this water has, and one of them is that you sleep better. And she goes, ooh, I can handle that. And the other one was you have more energy, and she liked that one. And the third one was, let's see, what was it? You have a better feeling of well-being about yourself. And the fourth one was probably that you feel a lot better in your finances, because once you tell your story to other people, the money starts rolling in. I just got through talking to my son on the phone, and yesterday he called in the evening and said that we had 7 checks in the mail, and today he called me just a little bit ago and said we had 6 more in the mail. So we have had a hard time financially, and this has really, really helped us in our life. And we just feel like it was an answer to prayer. And we have felt the Lord leading in this. I hope that's okay if I say that. We felt that that the Lord has really been leading and helping us in our business, in our finances, in the way we spend our money, and also in helping other people. We really, really appreciate sharing our story and sharing what it has done for us as a family, and also what it has done for us, not just health-wise, but with our finances. So we really like to share it with other people.
Here we are at another Kangen Water drinker. She's been on the water for about 3 weeks. What's your name?
Christina Colon.
Christina Colon. How have you been doing? Actually, tell me your story before Kangen Water. What were you suffering from? Any health challenges you had?
I have osteoarthritis all over my body. I have, and that's arthritis in my fingers, my spinal cord, my legs. I have patellofemoral syndrome, which is doesn't allow me to walk. My knees constantly in pain, cracking all the time. I'm constantly taking painkillers. My sugar level, it used to be about 239, the highest. Now, thanks to Kangen Water, my sugar has been 139 or 112. It's been leveled out. No more acid reflux. No more pain in my legs. No more headaches. My skin has been clearing up. This water's been my miracle.
Drinking the water for about a year and a half, and back then I was facing back surgery. I have a degenerative disc, and I really was desperate to get some help and not looking forward to surgery. So a friend of mine gave me the water, and within about 3 weeks, the numbness and tingling that was going down my legs disappeared. And what's really cool is that in this last year and a half, I've had no sciatic nerve problem, no back problems whatsoever. I'm playing soccer, golf, swimming, everything that I couldn't do before. This water's given my life back to me.
I had acid reflux, fibromyalgia, I had IBS, I also had, every time my older son would get sick from anything, he would catch a cold, flu, or a virus, I would also catch it too, 7 to 8 times a year because my immune system was down. I had something called Candida, which is systemic yeast, and that would affect me. I would get rapid heartbeat as a result, and I also had bad knees for many years from playing basketball. Didn't want to have the surgery, never had it. So I got on this water 23 months ago due to my buddy Bob, and in 1 week I had more energy. The next few weeks I went through some detox, but I always say I'd rather have it coming out than staying in. And after that, long story short, 23 months later, no more acid reflux, no more fibromyalgia, no more issues with the Candida. I actually went to a natural holistic doctor, and he said I only had 1% Candida after he did a blood test on me. I've only been sick once in the last 23 months, and that was from being around my former girlfriend too much. And I feel absolutely amazing. I don't have any knee problems anymore. I just went dancing at one of our seminars last week, danced the whole night away, and my knees felt amazing. I'm never going to have the surgery from the ACL damage. They feel awesome. I feel awesome. I'm 51 years old. I feel like I'm 25. It's amazing.
And after I drank the water, 3 days, my blood pressure went down 40 points. And then they said it helps with acid reflux. Well, I had an ulcer, and I didn't tell anybody. In 5 days, my acid reflux and ulcer went down. And then in about a month, 5 inches off my waist, 4 inches off my hamstrings, 4 inches off my arms. After that, you know, I kept on drinking the water because it was good. And like I said, but I didn't believe it at first, but I believe it now. And then I told him I might get involved with this company because now, after, 2 months, I had 2 cancer operations right here on the side of my neck. Okay, and it was, after a couple of years, it was bleeding again, but I don't want to go back to the doctors because I did the research. You die from the treatment, not from the cancer. So I started drinking the water, and after 2 months, it healed my cancer. So I'm going to keep drinking the water, and you should too.
Started on Kangen Water maybe only 2 months and lost about 20 pounds. My name is Dr. Dave Lessman, and I had a great experience with the water. First finding out about it from Barbara Godelli, who was on previously, and my parents were very ill. My dad had suffered a number of heart attacks, my mother acid reflux, and a number of other problems, arthritis. My dad had gout, overweight, and I really was not looking at this for anything else other than to help my parents. I've taken them to Cedars-Sinai and the top hospitals, Hoag Medical Center, Mission Hospital, and there was nothing else they could do. They said he couldn't have any more surgeries because he was getting too weak, and started him on the water. And just after a few weeks, my mother's arthritis and acid reflux diminished and went away, and my father started to improve more and more until they're at the point where they now have their lives back. They're traveling. They weren't able to travel before. They were afraid to go on a cruise. They were afraid to drive because they were worried about if my dad had another heart attack and they were on a ship, what would they do? But this water really gave them their lives back. And since I'm an only child and I've been helping them and taking care of them, it freed myself up to travel the world and spread the word about Kangen Water. It's amazing. It works. You know, I've been a doctor now for 20 years, and I've never seen anything else that had an effect like this on people's health. So it's amazing, it's true, and it really does work.
First day of drinking the water, my acid reflux gone within the first 2 weeks. My knee joints got better, and my gout was gone within the first month. Chronic cough is gone, and knee joints got better. Headaches that lasted 3 to 4 days, gone. After 2 months of drinking the water, my hair, which was more white than this, became dark. It darkened up. It was white down to here. So that, and then the bald spot filled in. After the 4th or 5th month, I finally started to lose weight, and I've lost about 30 pounds, and I've been drinking the water now for about 17 months. And just recently, something different's been added to my list. My reflexes seem to have gotten quicker. It's something fantastic. Just drink the water, drink Kangen water, and next time we'll see you on the testimony.
Buy the water. I started drinking it on Monday, and I've had incredible results, wonderful results. I have sinus problems. I couldn't smell for years, and all of a sudden, just after a week, I can smell. I can smell clearly.
I tried the water. My blood pressure had been, for the last 30 years, usually 165 to 195 over 90. I tried the water, and in 1 week's time, my blood pressure went from 195 down to 149 over 80. The second week I tried it, went down about 131 over something like about 79. The fourth week, my blood pressure is down 120 over 69. I also suffer from diabetes, and that went away in a period of 2 weeks. Presently, I'm not taking any pills for high blood pressure, none for diabetes. I feel extremely well.
Hi, my name's Jerry Kostica, and they gave me the opportunity to talk a little bit about what's happened with me with this Kangen water. I got to tell you, it's pretty phenomenal. I've lost almost 35 pounds. My blood pressure's gone from stage 2 hypertension to normal, and that's with no dietary changes, with no additional exercise, you know, with pretty much no changes other than the water I was.
But I was in a lot of pain, had no more mobility, rotator cuff. I thought I'd have to have surgery on, but it was the water that changed everything. Pain is gone, my mobility is back.
Been with Kangen right now for the last 5 weeks. I've enjoyed the product so well. The effect that happened to me is like my knees had been all messed up for the last 20 years, and 6 weeks into the water, I can do my squats, I can climb stairs, I could dance like I'm 17 years old. It's really amazing. Vision, I had a vision problem. Like there's like a white film that covers my sight every once in a while, and it's a case of like an allergy that my eye doctor told me. But this is like 9 weeks into the water, and I'm not experiencing that anymore. I don't need to put my eye drops. I'm very excited about this, and so everybody should be with Kangen Water. I love you, Kangen Water.
I've been on the water for about almost 15 months. I was a diabetic for 6 years.
I've been on the water, about 5 months when I noticed that my blood sugars were going down. I stopped taking the medication. I had really bad chronic back pains, and those were really severe where I was taking cortisone shots. And finally drinking this water, it's gone away. And also I had spurs on my shoulder too, and those have gone away.
Hi, I'm Amy Sandquist, and I'm here with Lori and Steve, and we are here to document this amazing story of Kangen Water and Steve's life and well-being. We're going to start off with Lori, just introducing Lori. She's the person who introduced Steve to Kangen Water and called me up with this amazing miracle story, and we're here to share that with you. So with that, Lori, do you want to introduce Steve?
This is Steve Miracle Murphy.
Nice.
And
Steve, are you ready to tell us your story?
Sure, if I can speak well enough. I had trouble speaking, but I couldn't speak at all two weeks ago. So I guess it's better than it was. I have Parkinson's disease for about 12 years now. It's gotten worse until about 5 years ago. Then it kind of leveled off for 2 years, and then 3 years ago I started not being able to walk. So I got a power chair and did that for about 3 years, and then 3 months ago I was totally in a wheelchair all the time. Pardon me, I can't talk very well. I have this disease, but I couldn't walk at all. I couldn't even take a step from the stair to the chair to the sofa without effort. So I was either having to crawl or ask for help to get up and move around. But I can walk on my own now.
Wow.
You see, trouble still is.
How about a little tap dance? Nice.
There you go.
Wow.
Yes.
So tell us about the Kangen Water.
Well, you know, one thing about Kangen Water, and half an hour after I had the first bottle from Lori, I walked into her reed shop and stood there, and she was in total amazement, and I was too. What I could do in half an hour after drinking the water, and nothing else changed in my life at all. No medication change, nothing else, just the water. So I guess that's what happens when you drink Kangen Water.
what about your doctor's appointment when the neurologist?
The neurologist thought I had the operation. They have DBS operation. DBS says they go home in the rain and put a wire down in there. And she said I had it because I was doing so much better than I was 6 months ago. And I said, no, I haven't had it at all. She's totally amazed my progress compared to the last 6 months. So they ran in two neurologists to examine me because they were so amazed that I was the same person. And so it has to be the water, has to be the minute they came to talk.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Steve, this is just the most exciting news ever. This is what Dr. Mark and I and Lori and Demir, he's our spokesperson for Demir, or for Kangen Water with lots of people, does our demos. Come on in here, Demir. Meet Steve. Steve's one of our best stories, isn't he? We've had lots of stories of people having lives change, their bowel issues changing, their attitudes, their emotions, their aches and pains, their arthritis. Steve, you're the second person who's on Parkinson's. You've had tremendous changes. We have Dr. Allen, who has Parkinson's, and he suffered from extreme depression and was just amazed at how this water affected his depression. Have you found a difference in that?
Yes, definitely. I was also on pain pills. I took them, Lortabs, 4 times a day. And I take hardly any at all. My pain in my back and my hips and down my knees.
Yeah.
I maybe take Tylenol once a day or so. I'm going from 4 tablets a day of 10 milligrams of painkillers to almost nothing. It's totally amazing to me as well.
Yeah, and so Kangen Water has been something that's changed your life. I know it's changed Lori's life, it's changed my life, Dr. Mark's life, Demir's life. We've all experienced it. And so how much, what are you drinking in Kangen Water every day?
About a gallon.
About a gallon a day, perfect. And were you a water drinker before?
Kind of.
Okay.
The water tastes so sweet and so pure and so clean. then I just keep drinking it.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
Nice.
Nice. And Lori said that you had had some paralysis on your face, and I don't see any signs of that.
This left side was going paralyzed. Actually, my partner just started on the left side, worked the right side, so this concerned me because my face was going paralyzed on my left side, but it's gone now. So.
Yeah. And were you amazed that this all happened just with water?
Yeah, nothing else changed in my life at all.
Yeah, I mean, not water, but Kangen water. Restructured, ionized, alkalized water. And when our bodies are put into balance, they work. God intended our bodies to work, and you're our living miracle.
I'm pleased that the word taught for me, and was pleased that Lori could help me too. It's a miracle to me.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we are just pleased to be able to share this with you and be able to be a part vicariously of your amazing results and the changes in your life. And as you continue to drink, it's going to slowly increase those electrical impulses or responses that happen in your body.
Yes.
You'll continually detoxify. You'll continually feel better and better and better as your body gets more and more balanced and health is restored. And that is just a gift from God, and the water just provides the foundation for that to happen. That's all it does. And so, yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This Kangen water was introduced to me by my wife, who was suffering some back problems of her own. And what prompted me to try this water was the fact that over the past year or so, I've been having difficulty with my hands stiffening up. It was a form of spasm or carpal tunnel syndrome. With the Kangen water, after 2 weeks drinking this particular water, I started experiencing a tremendous amount of relief in both of my hands with loss of stiffness, especially in the morning. It certainly did help alleviate the discomfort and stiffness that I was experiencing in both of my hands, which I really, really needed in order to do the procedures that I do on a work basis, daily work basis. So the Kangen water has certainly done a remarkable thing as far as I'm concerned to my own personally, and I'm truly a believer in this water.
I was introduced to the Kangen water. I suffer from problems with my knee. The joint area gets extremely painful, and I also have compressed discs in my lower back that have caused severe pain. I drank the water for a couple weeks and noticed that my knee was not in pain anymore. There was no popping, and also it has somewhat relieved the pain in my lower back. I can stand longer, sit longer, and it's done wonders to be able to drink something as simple as water and feel this relief. Has been great.
I was diagnosed with microcalcifications in my left breast in one of my routine mammogram in 2003, and was told to repeat the mammogram through digital magnification to confirm the diagnosis. And yes, indeed, it was microcalcifications. I have like 2 or 3 on my left breast, and I have to repeat mammogram every 6 months. 2 diagnostic mammogram and 1 routine mammogram. That makes it 3 in a year. And I was introduced in 2006 of November on Kangen water, and I tried that for 2 months and a half, and I canceled my mammogram that was supposed to be scheduled 2 weeks after I had the Kangen water. I rescheduled it again. I canceled it and rescheduled it for the following month to give Kangen water time to work on my body. And this was in November of 2006, and January of 2007 I had finally went through with my mammogram, and the result came back normal. So after 3 years of abnormal mammogram with microcalcification on my left breast, it came back normal on January of 2007. I was thinking that maybe Kangen would help me, and so I did try, and I was convinced that Kangen Water really helped me with my microcalcifications, and I don't know how to explain that, but it just happened. It did. That's the changes that I experienced with Kangen, and I think you should try it.
I'm so excited to be introduced to this Kangen Water. I believe this is one of the greatest gifts that was given to me. It's truly a gift from God. And this Kangen Water was introduced to me by a friend who was diagnosed with cancer. And I was so excited to see the changes in her life. I've been suffering for 9 years of stress eczema on my thumb, which usually occurred during my menstrual period every month. But since I was introduced on this Kangen and I was taking for 3 weeks, I was so amazed that I did not have my regular stress eczema. Usually I develop abscess on my thumb. It is very, very painful. Usually it's hard for me to do my normal chores. But on that week that I had my menstrual period and I took three weeks of Kangen Water, I did not experience that painful experience on my thumb. And also with my mother, who's been suffering from diabetes, hypertension, and enlargement of the heart. Like January, she even wrote me a letter that she said that she's dying. So she's telling me that she's going to die, and she's asking forgiveness for what she missed in her life. But when I sent the machine to her, she started drinking water, and now her life is back. She's back to serving people again. She always goes to church, and when she called me, she's crying because this is the greatest gift that I have given to her. I said to her, it's a gift from God that you have to share also. I'm so excited that we are sharing it to other people, because we can keep to ourselves the gift from God, so we have to share it to you. I have a 2-year-old daughter. She is still in for regular baby formula, because every time I try to switch her to a regular milk, whole vitamin D milk, she always gets constipation. And when you see her crying, turning red because of pain, going to the bathroom, as a mother, it's so painful to see your daughter to do that. So we just skip her on regular baby formula. When I introduce her to this Kangen Water, it changes everything. Now she can ask you, Kangen Water, mommy, and she doesn't have any more constipation. Every day, regularly, she goes to the bathroom without any pain episode. And also to my grandmother, last January, she was given only 2 weeks to live because her heart was so weak already. She has to be on oxygen for 3 months. She has been oxygen dependent. But last week, when I called in the Philippines, that my grandmother is doing so well now, she doesn't need any more the oxygen. So I just grateful for this Kangen Water. And it's truly a worth investment for my health, for my family's health, and for my friends' health.
As a young mother of 2, this past in 2006, May of 2006, I was heartbroken, and my family also, hearing the news that I had breast cancer. In 2006, I had surgery. I went through chemotherapy. Chemotherapy makes you really sick. And you know, sometimes you feel like you're really, you know, no hope. I think after 2 weeks of chemotherapy, in October, I was introduced by Dr. Nadia with this water, my family and I. They were talking about this water, that it would help, and that it has helped a lot of people who was undergoing problems, like different problems, that it might help me. When I start taking this Kangen water, it helps me tremendously. The tiredness, the fatigue, the aches on my muscles was diminished. I can smell, after chemotherapy, I can smell my output, my urine output, that it's really, really strong. And you can really, it's hard for you to smell it because it smells like hospital. The medicine is that strong. But when I start drinking Kangen water, the smell, you can really tell that the color of your urine changes, and the smell, you cannot really smell it anymore, the smell of the medicine. I started to be feeling much, much better every day just drinking through this Kangen water.
I see hope when I start seeing my wife feeling better and happier. This is truly a great investment for my family, since health is so important.
Give her a kiss. Sa cheek lang.
There you go.
Oh, did you hear me?
My name is Father Dacian Bluma. I am now 85, will be 85 years old this year. And I look at my life as being a real blessing. Now, at this stage in my life, I realize how God has been good to me and what a wonderful gift it has been. All the people I've met, all the things I've done, the places I've gone to. After my ordination, I went to Rome for my graduate studies and learned a great deal about the church. And it really brought me a great love and trust in the church. And then after that, I came back, and I was doing all kinds of work teaching in the seminary. And then I was administrator or provincial for our province for 6 years. And then after that, I was formation director of our young people. And after that, I went to Africa for 6 years and did some missionary work there. And came back and continued to work. So I really led a full life, and I feel very happy with it, grateful to God. Well, as it turns out, in the last 3 years, my health has been weakened somewhat. And about 1.5 years ago, in October of 2005, I was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer. And I had surgery. And all the cancer was removed, the surgeon said. But of course, there was some in the lymph nodes. And so he said, you know, unless you take some aggressive therapy, you're likely to have it return. I refused the therapy, knowing my age and knowing that I didn't want to become sick before I was sick. I wanted to have the chance really to continue what I was doing. And so at the present time, I'm a chaplain here of the Sisters of St. Francis of Assisi of Perpetual Adoration. So I had the cancer removed, but now, just March 26th, I received the results of a CAT scan. Tells me that cancer has returned, at this time, both in the stomach area and in the liver. And so that is what I'm dealing with now. I see a very marked difference in my ability to move around. I get tired very quickly. As much as I loved to celebrate Mass, I can no longer do that. I can't celebrate, but at any rate, I met Kathy, and I met some wonderful people, and her husband, and some wonderful people, and they introduced me to this wonderful water that I've been, Kangen water. I'm saying it is a purified water that has been specially prepared, and it is shown, in fact, that over the years it has had a tremendous effect on people. I want to be one of those, to stand up or sit down and tell you that I really want to speak in favor of that water, and to say let's do everything we can not to add more chemicals to our healing process, but reducing ourselves to the simplicity of healthy, fundamental, and basic things in our life, like water. And I'd like to encourage those who are looking for opportunities for not only healing but for hope. Please consider the possibility of this Kangen water. Some of the medication that helps me with regard to pain has side effects that cause constipation. And this had been a really worrisome thing for me. And I was wondering how I can get out of that vicious circle. I want some help, but in the meantime I'm adding more problems. And so this water was a great help to me because it relieved and helped relieve me from that constipation and that sense of being bound up. And I felt that the water not only washed me clean, but as it does on the outside, but rather on the inside and in my own intestines and my own constipation. So I'm grateful for that, and I want to speak in favor of that as well.
Hello, my name's Joseph Yeager, and this is my wife, Lizelle. I'm a United States postal worker. I was diagnosed 7 years ago with heart disease and peripheral arterial disease. And 2 months ago, we bought the Kangen water machine. I had trouble with my legs. The fluids would retain in my legs, and I had to wear braces.
Most of the time.
After 1 month of the Kangen water, I no longer wear the braces and my legs no longer fill with fluid. My wife, who suffers from migraine headaches.
If I have monthly period. So when I start drinking for that, I did not feel migraine headache already. So thanks the Lord for that.
So now our whole family drinks Kangen water, including our friends. They come over for water.
Yeah.
Well, for the last 9 years of my life, I've been suffering from Crohn's. I was 10 years old when I started having symptoms, which is blood in my stools. I didn't know what it was. I've been to numerous doctors throughout the 9 years of my life that I've had it. I have been on numerous medications, Asacol, Colazol, and each doctor that I've seen has told me that I needed to take 9 pills a day. And once I figured that out, in my head, 9 pills a day, that's a lot. And I started worrying, what is it doing to my liver? What is it doing to my body? My parents didn't know what to do, so they just said, take your medicine. That's what the doctors say. So about maybe 3 months ago, my parents brought home this Kangen water, which we call magic water. And I started drinking it. My parents did not know that I started to do this, but I didn't take my medicine. I started drinking it and I stopped my medicine. No more 9 pills a day, just dropped it. I wanted to see if it would actually work. And lo and behold, it did. I have no more blood in my stool. I've been on the water now for about 3-4 months. And, there was a point in time where I started working 6 days a week at a restaurant. And I stopped drinking as much water. And my problems came back, along with very, stressful situations, which can irritate my Crohn's. And so I realized that I needed to start drinking my water again. So I started back on it, and ever since then, I've been great. I haven't had any more episodes, no more bleeding, and I feel awesome.
Hi, my name's Carol Cooper. I live in Albion, Washington. I heard about Kangen water from a friend who hooked me up with a friend who had the machine. I've been drinking the water for 3 months. I've lost 28 pounds. My arthritis doesn't hurt anymore. I have a plantar's wart on my foot, and that doesn't bother me. I never get headaches anymore, and I'm getting color back in my hair. I love it.